Leadership is that you put yourself at disposal of an entire organization, external organization, to make sure that together we will do better things rather than to work in isolation. My approach is to challenge everything that is really not needed. Our question should be, what we are doing is adding value to our product, is adding value to our consumer, is really much aligned with our commitment in terms of doing good things in the marketplace. If not, we have to challenge. Now, sustainability, environment, and to be a force for good company is part of the core. Because if we do not embed this part of the commitment in our strategy, we will not have a future. Each of you have opportunity when you will start to have a job to make a difference.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Manish. I am one of the co-presidents of the Marketing and Strategy Club here at London Business School. Today, we're very honored to be joined by Stefano Agostini, who is the CEO of Nestlé for UK and Ireland. Stefano joined Nestlé in 1989 as a regional sales manager, and very quickly he rose up through the ranks, taking on responsibilities at Nestlé in Italy. And then in 2004, he transferred over to the UK, where he's held a number of leadership roles, and today is the CEO of the UK and Ireland market. He's also a member of the Food and Drink Federation, and also chairs its Plastics and Packaging Task Force. He's also a member of the UK Department of International Trade. There's a lot about his career that and his journey that we want to know, and to essentially enable this conversation, we have with us Jon Ratcliffe. Jon has had a very long relationship with the London Business School, longer than I can very surely say 99% of the people on this call. Jon has been a guest lecturer at the school since 2009, and he's co-founder of the Engage Video Group, which is a very quickly growing digital video technology company. They've reached billions of people through their work, and done work for companies like Nestlé, Unilever, and Coca-Cola. He's also a member. He's also Global Agenda Council member of the World Economic Forum, and he graces us with his presence at all of these speaker series talks and enables these conversations. Thank you, Jon. Over to you.
Manish, thank you so much. Really appreciate the great introduction there. And hi, Stefano. Thank you so much for making the time. Personally honored to be speaking with you today. Such a remarkable career. Manish just talked us through there. 10 years as the head of Sanpellegrino worldwide, such a remarkable role, and many years at Nestlé, now the CEO of UK and Ireland. Such a remarkable career. And Stefano, I thought perhaps if it makes sense for you, we could start talking a bit about your career journey, the highlights and things which have been most interesting to get us to where you are today.
It's really a pleasure for me to be with you today. It's always good to connect with external world and with the future, with a young generation that will join soon our business and our community. So yes, very pleased to start to tell a little bit about myself. In a few days, I will turn 58, and I'm Italian. I was grown in Genova, is a harbor in the north of Italy, and I always look for getting to be independent in my life. So when I ended the high school, I decided to leave Genova and to join the Navy in the academy, military academy in Italy, in Livorno, where I had the opportunity to start my career, to be independent, to learn new things, to work in team, to get the discipline that I was looking for. And so I stayed in the Navy for 3 years, is what I wanted. I was not interested in the military life for all my life, but more about the training, understanding how to work in a focus on big mission, big project. And then I came back home. I joined my father. My father was a trader in food and beverage, and I worked with him 2 years been not easy to work with your father. It was very tough with me, and they want a lot from me, but it's been a great experience. But then after 2 years, my father, he left me. I mean, he fired me because he understood that his job had no future. And he said, time that you look for your career, your future. In parallel, I was studying at the University of Genoa. At that time, I could study without going to university every day because I was working. So I was studying during the night and during the weekend to complete my university degrees. And so I joined a little company, a small company in the north of Italy of mineral water that is called San Bernardo. That was still owned by the family that founded the business. But the same year, the company was sold to Perrier, and the same year, Perrier was sold to Nestlé. So I find myself from a small company to a much bigger company, even if the first years the business being run by this family. This has been, I entered, as you said, as a regional manager, as a sales guy, and I was really in the commercial area. But I had always opportunity to grow because this was not a big company, so to work with the family to understand what was beyond the commercial area. And little by little, I grew up in the commercial area, and I became sales director after 3 years. And then when Nestlé decided to make more acquisition in the water business globally and in Italy, I've been always involved in the acquisition process in terms of defining the future structure of sales organization and commercial team. So I managed first the merger with Aquavera, and then in '97 we did a big acquisition of Sanpellegrino, Aquapanna, Levissima. So we became a market leader in Italy. And that time, the group that looked at me also opportunity to grow as a more management role, and internationally gave me the responsibility of a division of the business with a full P&L and full responsibility also on operation. And then after 2 years, I became a commercial director for the Italian business. I did it till 2004. And luckily in 2004, I started my international career. I say luckily because this was one of the things that attracted me more on Nestlé, is the global footprint, the global international career. So I came here in UK first time in 2004. At that time, we used to have a joint venture with Coke for water here in UK, but then we split that year, and we had to organize the Nestlé water business in UK. So I came here, organized a new business supported by Nestlé. We started doing for Sanpellegrino, we developed a Buxton, we launched Pure Life, and I ran this business for 3 years. At that time, I wanted to stay abroad. But one day, I remember I was in Roland Garros event. It was a nice Sunday, and my boss at that time, he called me and said, Stefano, let's sit a little bit and let's speak about your future. Yes, very interested. I was hoping to go in other countries, and told me, you have to go back to Italy. I said, no, I don't want to go back to Italy. He said, yes, but you go back to Italy to be the CEO of Sanpellegrino. I said, yes, I go back to Italy. Because this was clearly a huge opportunity for me to go to run the entire business of Sanpellegrino with all the brands that we had, but as well to manage Sanpellegrino international. So Sanpellegrino is based in Milan, but is a brand that today is present in 160 countries all around the world. So I went back. It was not easy because I went back to lead my colleague at that time were colleagues. I led also some people that at the time has been my boss. So beginning was not easy because I had to demonstrate the ability to lead a big team that know me very well. But I got a lot of support, and it's been fantastic years because Sanpellegrino we have done, we started from 300 million business export, and we ended with 1 billion. And I did for a long period. I was expecting to be in Sanpellegrino for 4 or 5 years. I did for 10 years. But it's been a great journey, a great experience, and also opportunity to know Nestlé in many other markets, because when I was going in other market, I always met my colleague of Nestlé to understand the Nestlé portfolio, the Nestlé business in their market. Then in 2017, after different discussion about my opportunity in a different market, the group asked me to come back to UK and to lead the UK, so the full portfolio of UK and Ireland. And UK is a large business for Nestlé. And today, when I came here, we were not. We were a 7th market in terms of dimension. And now we are the 4th largest business for Nestlé globally. And now I'm here since 5 years. So this is a little bit my journey in my career before and now in Nestlé.
Thanks, Stefano. Very interesting to hear. I found it fascinating in preparing for today's presentation to look at your LinkedIn profile, and fascinating to see what you share on there. And one of the things which caught my eye was your descriptor of what you stand for and what you focus on. And I'm just going to read it. You said, set a vision, be ambitious, focus on what matters, connect and develop people. This is what drives me every day. And as I listen to your story now, talking about lots of different leadership roles throughout your journey, I thought perhaps a great thing just to hear your point of view on is the importance of focus in telling people around you what you stand for every day and being really crystal clear on that, like you have been in your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, for me, it's nice to have opportunity to have a conversation with you, but I'm not the person that I like to teach. I mean, that I always try to think by myself and just to learn a lot from example from leaders that were close to me, so to learn from them. But at the end, to set my plan, because each of us, we are different, so we are unique persons, so we have to make of our unicity a strength. So when I say set a vision, for younger people, don't expect that set a vision is only a job for leaders. Each of you have opportunity when you will start to have a job to make a difference. So you have to define what the kind of contribution you want to bring to your business, to the colleague, to the team, and to the entire world where you can have an impact. So it's important to be ambitious. And I say when I say ambitious is because really you can make a difference in whatever job in the organization. For me, to set ambition or a vision, it's important because I like excellence. I like winning. I like to be competitive, but being respectful of competition, be respectful of all people that work with me or also compete with me. But if you don't set an ambition that you want to do better, that you want to add value, it's very difficult to motivate your team, to motivate yourself. And you need always to set a clear goal, clear KPIs on what kind of company, what kind of business, what kind of person you want to be in the next future. So vision, ambition for me goes very much together. I've been a person that in my career now, I told you when I started, but now this year will be 54 years in Nestlé. Even if I've done all these different things, so it's not a problem. It's an opportunity that I've been so many years in Nestlé because I've been engaged with many different, let's say, colleagues and different jobs. But it's also important to define really what kind of things you want to deliver, and then when you enter in a job, what is the status quo? What is for you and for the team, for your line manager, for your boss, what is a good achievement? So to align on what kind of difference we want to make together. And then to set a plan. And then to review if we are delivering, if we are not delivering, to make all the adjustments. So when I came here in UK, to give you an example, the UK business was big, but was not growing. And when I came here, really, I say to my colleague, guys, we need to get back to growth. At that time, we were 2.3 billion business of pound. And I say, what is next goal? Next goal is to be free, because it was the first rounded business number around after 2.3. And my team has been, tell me how we can become 3 billion. Okay, let's say that, do we want to win? Yes, we want to win. What does it mean win? It means grow. What does it mean grow? It means that we need to add in the next 4 or 5 years additional business. So let's set 3 billion. That is something that will satisfy us if we will achieve in 4 years. And now let's work on the plan. And then we work on the plan on internal growth. We have done acquisition and so on and so on. And last year we delivered 3 billion. So it's really important that to be let's say, to set a goal that you can deliver, but as well to motivate the team with some challenge. Sometimes you say, I want to reach that place, even if you don't know yet how to achieve. Not always say, okay, let's see what we are capable to do, and then based on what we are capable, we will build a plan. And you will see that my leadership style is different from our leaders. I've been always on the field. In all my career, I wake up in the morning, every day in my career, knowing that I have to deliver, let's say, a business. I never work in a function that are only strategic. I never work in a headquarters. I've been always on the field. I've been always in charge of a business. So clearly, I am one of the leaders that are very much focused on having clear, let's say, objectives, a clear vision, but also in delivering, in execution. There are people that are more, let's say, on the strategy, on the communication, that is important. So a company like Nestlé, I think, needs a balance. I think that I represent more the execution part of the delivery rather than the job of defining what kind of company we want to be in terms of strategy. And then I said in my LinkedIn as area that characterize myself is a focus on what matters. And this is very important for me because a company like Nestlé are very complex. We are big, we have many projects, many things, and sometimes we are distracted on things that are not really important to deliver, or important to the consumers, important for our external stakeholders. Sometimes we like to make long presentation, long meeting, long process, but then we realize that it's not really the priority. So my approach is to challenge everything that is really not needed. Always our question should be, what we are doing is adding value to our product, is adding value to our consumer, is really much aligned with our commitment in terms of doing good things in the marketplace. If not, we have to challenge. Yes, there are many things that are not perceived by consumer that are, or compliance has to be delivered. But otherwise, let's be simple. Let's be focused on what matters. Let's cut all the waste that we have in a big organization. And then lastly, when I say connect and develop people, I think that in a career you have a path. At the beginning, you are really to be ambitious to learn, to make career, to learn to take more responsibility. But then when you take more responsibility, and when you're a little bit older like me, the motivation that you get every day is to realize that you can make a difference helping people working together. And by the way, only working together well, you will get the synergy and the excitement to make a difference. So working together is sometimes not easy for a big organization like Nestlé. To connect people in a matrix organization is a need, is a must. Otherwise, you will work in silos. And then develop people. Something that motivates me more now is to help my team to make career. My job is to support people to make career. My job is to coach and to mentor young people when they enter the company, and to support them to go through all the challenge, all the worry that one person can have in a career. So during a career, you will be motivated, excited, energized by different things. This is a normal path. And my age and my role, I think that, yes, I think that I still have some years of work in the group. Probably this is not my last assignment. But my motivation really is to deliver with people and to help people to develop.
That's fascinating, Stefano, and thank you for talking through that descriptor. Super interesting. We ended talking about people, and maybe just an interesting one to dive into. In the world of remote work and so much shift happening in the way people think about work, I was interested to understand your view on how to find the best people. So the best people around you, how to build that team, and then also how to keep those people in the long term.
Well, I've done different, let's say, speech like this with a student, university, and and you have listened from my curriculum that I'm a little bit different because, yes, I have a university degree, but since when I was 19, I've been always involved in having a job and to be involved in delivering something. But my advice to you is that it's very important to have a degree. It's very important to have a strong training, to have a strong preparation, either university, master, or whatever. But it's important as well to show that all your knowledge will bring a difference the day that you will be asked to work on a project, on a job, whatever. So when I look at people, I look, yes, clearly the skill, knowledge, but also on the ability of these people to work in a team, to work with other people, to add something new, to bring diversity, to be able to speak up, even if when you are young, that you think that maybe I'm not yet ready to speak. No, because you come from a generation that you know things that we don't know. Because in terms of digital, in terms of connecting with new trend, you know much better than a person my age. So it's important that when you look at people, are all the soft skills. The soft skills are very important. And these skills, you can, let's say, realize this skill when the person has a job. Because if I see a curriculum that your best degree, okay, good. But then come and let's see together if you can add to these degrees some soft values, some soft skill that will be important for you to work and to make a difference in an organization. And curiosity, it's very important. I grew up in the organization because I always tried to understand more about the job of my colleague in supply chain and operation and finance. I'm a person that I love numbers. I love the P&L. And so when I was in the commercial area, I was not just limited to my contribution of the P&L. I was looking and working with my colleague to see how we can make efficiency together to have better supply chain cost, better manufacturing cost. So to be curious and to see if in your role, how you can help the colleague and how you can, let's say, work in a team. If a colleague understands that your interest to support others, you will be perceived as a person that you will be not selfish. You're not interested on your own career. You're interested to make the success of the team, and then it will become your success. So these are things that leaders perceive from young people, and at the end, when we decide giving, let's say, a new position to promote people, these are the things that come stronger. Okay, there are some special jobs where you need lots of expertise, but most of the job you need leadership. You need a, let's say, skill that will make you impactful in a more complex role. So these are very important things.
Thanks, Stefano. In there, you spoke a little bit about the importance of the younger generation's understanding of the digital landscape, for example. And there's, of course, been so much change in this space. You spoke earlier about the incredible growth Nestlé has seen in the UK. With so much change happening in the world today in terms of the communications environments, I was just interested to understand how you think you drive growth in such a complicated world.
I was just speaking now. I just entered the board of a new company that we acquired 2 years ago. That is a D2C business, direct-to-consumer business. Is a startup that we acquired some years ago in a very different portfolio. And from the CEO, from all the leadership, they are young people very different from us. And this is the beauty of Nestlé, because we operate in a classical retail, let's say, traditional business. Then we have out of home, we have D2C, we have, let's say, vertical business like Nespresso. So we have a very diverse portfolio with a diverse organization with different skills in our organization. So to grow, we needed to have a clear understanding of the market development that the consumer needs. And consumers today are they still have a need to be fed with food and beverage for sure, but the way of consumption in terms of product, in terms of ingredient, in terms of moment of occasion, in terms of the channel where you buy is evolving drastically. Clearly more in developed markets like UK, but it's evolving. If you look at how we were buying, what we were consuming 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and what is happening now is completely different. And then there are other elements that make, let's say, a brand successful, to have a brand with purpose. Consumers don't look just at the product for taste or the price. Consumers are looking at the product, looking at this product, what kind of contribution to the planet, to the world is bringing. So when we speak about with brand with purpose is another element of a company like us, either we have brand with purpose or we will struggle in the future. So all these elements of a new, let's say, ecosystem of a business, sometimes, most of the time, are better understood by younger generation than older generation, because all the connection with environment, with all the problem, the social problem that we have around the world, all the communication system that we have to connect more for social, for digital, all the system, the data analytic that we have to understand the consumer pattern and how consumer buy, how consumer remain connected with our product. These are elements that I didn't grow up with this driver of the business. These are very new. And I'm sure that young generation, you are much more exposed, you understand much better. And this is a big advantage that you have. On top of the language, you listen from me that my English is quite poor because I started to speak English when I was 52, 53. And now you speak English perfectly. And so you have capability that people of my age, we do not have. And when I started in my career, I was a young guy that I had just to learn. And today we have in a company like us reverse mentoring. I am coached by people of your age on digital, on sustainability, on many other things, because I need to learn from you. And we have to remain humble on the fact that there are things that, not because we are older, we are more experienced, we can know. So these are things that you have to know, so they can give you more confidence that when you enter the company from the first day, you can bring added value. And us as a company, we needed to get this knowledge, leveraging the diversity that we have in an organization, and diversity in terms of knowledge, diversity about origin, diversity about culture, because we are global business with global brands, with regional brands, and we need to understand all the change that our consumer are expecting in products like Nestlé.
That makes a lot of sense, Stefano, and thank you for explaining. We had Paul Polman on the same speaker series a few months ago talking about his book, Net Positive. And it's certainly very inspiring to me to listen to the greatest leaders of our time thinking about purpose and thinking about a better future and a better planet in the future. It's interesting looking at 2022 today. There have been a few changes at a very sort of senior governmental level, which almost seem to be rolling back some of those focuses on sort of regeneration. And I guess if we have a look at the focus on energy, specifically in Europe at the moment, do you remain very positive about a purposeful future for the greatest brands in the world and a purposeful future for great big companies like Nestlé?
Yeah, by the way, Paul Polman has been one of the leaders in our sector in food and beverage. He started to speak about company with purpose when maybe was not yet, let's say, done by everybody. So he's been inspirational. He's an inspirational leader because he captured from the beginning, at the early phase, things that were going to change. And he did brilliantly. And I know that also today is still committed in bringing this, let's say, new approach to the business, supporting different companies. So what is important for me, it has changed. that I'm very motivated is that, as I mentioned to you, I'm a person that I'm a leader that I think that we need to set clear goals and then we have to deliver. In the past, when we were speaking about environment, about sustainability, the early phase was a little bit like charity. I mean, that in a company, if you can make something more to support, let's say, part of society that needs, is good, but was not part of a core. Now, sustainability, environment, and to be a force for a good company is part of a core, because if we do not embed this part of the commitment in our strategy, we will not have a future. So consumer will not trust anymore in brands that are not committed to make a difference either on health, on the society, on the planet, or altogether. And the good thing is that I can assure you, you will see when you will be in a company like us, that in the past we had a clear financial KPI to achieve. Now we have in our target a clear, let's say, milestone to achieve on environment goal, on societal goal. And this is clear. This is what I like, because I like to put in my master plan that we need to achieve top line, we need to achieve bottom line, but every year we need to invest behind a big project to deliver our sustainable goal in terms of planet, in terms of net zero emission, in terms of sustainable packaging, in terms of sustainable agriculture. And this is a step, piece by piece, there are clear investment, clear plan, clear achievement that we have to deliver. So this is the confidence that I want to give to you, is that this will happen because it's part of our core strategy. It's not anymore a charity or something on top of it. If we can, we do. If we do not do, we will have a serious problem on business.
That makes complete sense, Stefano. As you were talking there, just reflecting on the world of 2022, I think business has been a bit harder this year than it has perhaps in 2021. I think a lot of the sort of like headwinds of COVID have caught up. Something I'd love to hear your point of view on is this sort of idea of bouncing back. I think the greatest leaders in our time all talk about its resilience, and once you've gone through a hard time, it's how you bounce back from a hard time. Just interested to know your point of view, having led businesses over great times and harder times and great times in cycles, what your point of view is on how to come back when things are hard.
Well, looking backwards, I can say that it's not easy to live in a crisis, not easy to live when you have lots of headwinds. But for yourself as a leader, as a manager, and for your team, these are the best moments to strengthen yourself, to create your skill, and to get your resilience, and to work really close to your team. I remember when I took over Sanpellegrino, at the end of 2007 when I came back to Italy. 2008 has been a very difficult year with Lehman Brothers problem, and all the financial market went down, and all the business for Sanpellegrino that was very important, that was Sanpellegrino sell a lot of in the restaurant, so all the tourism has been affected, all the businesses has been affected. So we had a big hit that year. And I remember with my CFO at that time, I say, Giacomo, we are here in a mess because it was a very successful business. All of a sudden was not growing anymore. We have problem everywhere to manage. And he said, this is either we help each other, we work hard, we are honest. We just not go outside to promote things that are not important. Let's work close to our team and let's give them the confidence that we have a great brand. We have a great brand with a great purpose, and little by little we will recover. And people understood that we put ourselves, our heart, our commitment in doing the best to regain the trust in the group, to regain the trust of our distributors around the world. And this has been an amazing journey, because 1 year after, when we saw that our effort was bringing a result, we created a motivation that we came out from that crisis much stronger. And this are my whole team will be my friend for all my life, because we lived 12 months very difficult, very, very difficult. And now the cost of living crisis that we have in the world or in Europe are lots of problems, because we have a cost of living crisis, we have inflation, we have shortages of raw material, we have a war. So it's a moment that people can be scared, can be worried. That is a moment that you have more opportunity to show leadership, more opportunity to support team. And in a company like Nestlé, there are resources. It's just a matter of focusing the resources in the right way. This message is important to stay closer to people that maybe have not yet experienced a moment of crisis. And beauty, like in the family, is when you have a problem, to know that there is somebody that you can reach to get support. But also to have the ability to understand if somebody struggles, not leave these people isolated, to go to these people, to support the people, understand what are their needs. So, yes, everybody say that in a crisis there are opportunity. Yes, partially it's true that, but you have to have the ability to reshuffle a little bit your priority. Also to take difficult decisions to stop something that maybe in a crisis is too much that you cannot make. So you have also to give honest messages to people, sometimes disappointing people, because when you stop some project, it's not nice. But if you do for the right purpose, they will understand, they will follow you.
A quick question I'm interested in there as a follow-on, Stefano, as you spoke a bit about building a group of people around you, like a family you can turn to in tough times. Often as the CEO of a business, right at the top of an organization, it can feel sometimes to be a more lonely position. And I understand your role is within a broader group, but just interested to understand where you turn to when things are tough yourself.
I get lots of, let's say, support, but also advice from other people. And as I said, I'm not a person that, I like lots of advice, because sometimes it's too much. But I like to listen. I like to see what people think about myself, or to get feedback. And one thing that I've realized is that when you are a leader, you have also to accept that you are a little bit alone sometimes. At that moment, that it's good that you stay alone, because you have to take decision in isolation, and then you have to take responsibility for this decision, and then to go to explain to your team why you are taking this decision. And sometimes decision can affect also some people. But it's important that you put always, as a leader, the first interest is the interest of a company, of your people. Never put first your own interest. If you show to the people that the priority is your own interest, this is a disaster. A disaster that you will be not a real leader. You will be not followed. So it's important that you put always the interest of the company, the interest of the entire organization. And sometimes for the interest of the entire organization, you need also to take decisions that can affect the individual. But you have to do always in a respectful way. You have always to give honest feedback to people. You have always to put yourself to support people to develop on the area of development. So, and this is something that is not always easy, to balance the moment of the distance. You have to stay close to the team, but sometimes not too close, because otherwise you cannot do well your job. Maybe sometimes you need to have, let's say, you work from outside to look at how the team work together, to have less influence, but then you have to stay connected to the team at the moment that you explain your thoughts, you explain your idea, you explain your decision. So this is a balance that in the career, sometimes you do well, sometimes you do less well. When you don't do well, it's good to get feedback from the team, to say, okay, give me advice why I didn't do well, where I can help, and then next time you work in a different way to do hopefully better.
That makes sense, Stefano. Another question about you and your sort of journey. I'd be fascinated to hear about the part of your job which you like the most, the part you enjoy the most, and then potentially the part that you struggle with the most and is hardest for you.
What I like very much, I'm passionate about food and beverage. I'm passionate about environment. I'm passionate about, let's say, consumer, customer, and so on. But in my role that I'm enjoying very much now, and you mentioned, your colleague Manish said before when I introduced myself about also role that I have in our organization that are connected to our business. Part of my job that I like very much is external networking. I like because I'm curious. I like because I like to know different people outside Nestlé. But I like as well to understand how a company like of Nestlé can make a difference working together our organization, like in an association. What can we do together to promote and to improve the food and beverage impact market? How can we partner better with the institution, with the government, to make sure that the policy and the policy will be, let's say, the right policy to make a progress. We are not here to defend ourselves. We know that we need to be progressive, but how we can give them the information so they can regulate better, bring a progressive regulation and understanding what is the need of the food and beverage. And you can understand that during the Brexit, the work that we have done together with the government to influence the government to take decisions that were not going to affect the continuity of the business being fundamental. And luckily, we came out with a sort of trade agreement that has not created lots of interruption, but now we have shortages on the supply chain, and now we have a war. So this role of us as a leader is to stay closer to an external body, and government is very important, but then our body that are like NGO, that in this moment are leading like the sustainable journey. So we need to put our face, we need to put our leadership together, our organization, to see together how we can make synergy, to make an impact on the environment. If we take a decision in isolation, in some area, we will not deliver some goal. If we speak about net zero, if we speak about recyclability of the packaging and other things, and also regenerative agriculture, we need to have standard. We need to achieve critical mass to make an investment. So the leadership is that you put yourself at disposal of an entire organization, external organization, to make sure that together we will do better things rather than to work in isolation. This is something that I like a lot. As I mentioned, I like a lot to connect with young people. I have three children almost of your age, and I get lots of challenges, but I love to spend time with the younger generation. So where I can mentor and coach, this is giving me lots of energy. An area where I struggle more, maybe because as I mentioned to you, I start my career going around the customer on the market. I was going to the office half a day a week. I'm a person that struggles to spend too much time in a meeting room, to listen a long presentation. I like always to go to the point, to be short. I'm not a person that I love process, even if a company like Nestlé has lots of process, governance. I like always to find the agility, the common sense to make all the changes that are needed. So these are an area where, yes, I try to develop myself and to be a little bit patient. Sometimes I'm impatient, and but you know, there are things that is good that you have to challenge. There are things that I have to give up. I have to accept that in an organization like Nestlé, there are some rules that you have to accept.
Thanks, Stefano. Yeah, that's super interesting, and thank you for sharing those with us. One of the things we spoke about earlier was growth, and of course, a really big part around growth, specifically as it applies to big organizations like Nestlé, is the power of brands and the power of marketing to drive growth. One of the interesting things in a time of challenge is that marketing gets a lot of pressure put on it as the first thing perhaps to be reduced. I'm fascinated to hear your point of view on marketing, perhaps marketing in the context of 2022, the power of great brands and the power of great brands to be the resilience to push through challenging times.
This is a very important element of a market dynamic because if you look at people as needs, if we speak about the food and beverage, the needs is to be fed. And so you can say, okay, let's work on a basic product that cover this need, it is done. Yes, but it's a part of a portfolio, part of the offer in the market that are really giving, let's say, a basic product to consumer to cover some needs. But consumer are looking for product not only for, let's say, physical need, but also for a mental need. And the strong brand has something more. It means that they have, let's say, some values that give some satisfaction to the consumer. That the moment that you buy, the moment that you have a product close to you, you are enriched as a person because you feel a nice moment. Also, in food and beverage, there's a small moment, an easy moment of luxury, because when I want to enjoy a product, if I buy my love brand, I have emotion close to me that make that moment special. Clearly, there are emotions that are linked to the tradition. Maybe with a product that I was eating and drinking with my family when I was kids, with my parents, or is a product that remember me my holidays, a product that give me something that let's say I love because I respect my feeling. I like the packaging, I like the advertising, I like. So when Sanpellegrino is all about values. Because Sanpellegrino, yes, is a great product because it's a unique, sparkling composition. But Sanpellegrino started more than 100 years ago with international business committed to the food, the quality of food, to the restaurant. And when we started Sanpellegrino, a little bit before my time, we spoke about Live in Italian. Live in Italian was the campaign, the commitment of Sanpellegrino was to bring all around the world a little bit of the Italian lifestyle, and this has been a great success. In a very humble and simple way, we promote all the Italian food through Italian chef. We promote the beauty of Italy. It is not only food; it's fashion, it's design, it's lifestyle, it's the simplicity of enjoying moment also with family in a nice place around the good food. And people that buy Sanpellegrino, yes, because it's a good water, but as well because it represents something that I just explained. So this is a great difference. And you see that the brands that you buy and you are ready to pay a premium is because top of being good or with good ingredient, with good taste, is because around the brand there is something more. So this is clearly, if you go on the luxury, on the design, this is everything. If you go on the spirit, if you go on our product that are much more premium, this is the brand with purpose, the brand with stronger essence is the key. But also for basic product, KitKat, Nescafe, these are products that they need to have a great, let's say, great values around the brand.
That's such great examples, and I'm based in Cape Town today, and those values you explained for Sanpellegrino are so true. Even here, I think if you go to any of the best restaurants, they will all feature the product, and I think such a great example when you talk about a product which is so difficult to differentiate, and yet it has such a clear differentiation in my mind. And Stefano, as you sort of look at a challenging time and the sort of pressure which will often come from sort of like, across the whole business to sort of think about, is it a time where we can continue to invest in our brands when there is challenge in the business? How do you think about that? It's such a tricky one to have an answer to, but just wondering if you have a point of view on that.
Well, this is a very actual question and discussion. You can imagine that with the pressure that we have in a company like Nestlé, but in all company, we have inflation that is going very high. All the items, clearly energy costs are the areas that are worrying us more. But everything is growing, raw material, all the costs are growing, and therefore we need to see, okay, what do we do to make sure that we remain competitive. Clearly, we need to increase price, but before increase price, you have to make sure that all the efficiency that you can generate, you generate. We have to remain committed on the investment on sustainability. As I say, we cannot give up, we cannot delay. So it's a moment of choice. And to keep growing in a moment like this, you need always to look at all the driver, the lever that you have in your business. It can be price, it can be promotion, it can be advertising, it can be distribution, it can be format. So these are things that are part of our job. Some moments it's better to invest on above the line advertising. Some moments it's better to invest on promotion, on price, or getting new distribution. And every brand, every product has a different needs. And brand is also different when you're market leader and when you're followers. When you're market leader, you have to be the prime mover in some areas. You have also to take more risk because you are the leader and the follower look at you. If you are a follower, maybe you have to be a little bit more patient and to see what the leader is doing and therefore what we do to compete as well. So the rationale of our business has to be adapted. The control of costs is very high, but control of costs is always high. We need to also to decide if we can afford all the project in terms of launches of new products. Maybe it's a moment that we need to focus on established product or to make some few choices where we think that we can succeed. So we can take less risk. In terms of manufacturing, clearly we need to have to simplify. And in terms of supply chain as well, we need to simplify. We need to reach consumer in a, let's say, more efficient way. But as well, we need to see how we can balance this kind of need of efficiency with environmental goal. And sometimes, and many times, environmental goals go together with efficiency. It's not true that environmental goals are premium, are more expensive. It's just a matter of, let's say, understanding the complexity and the right moment to implement some important project. In this moment, there is, let's say, all the energy, all the countries or the company that have invested more in renewable energy. They have a cost advantage in this moment because they are less reliant on supply of energy from, let's say, gas or our sources. So yeah, it's difficult, but anyway, you have to remain, let's say, convinced that if your strategy, if your capability is demonstrated to deliver, adapting, you can keep delivering. And so it's also important to keep motivating your team. The team, sometimes when you see that you are delivering year after year, when you enter a moment that there are more headwinds, they say, wow, this will be difficult. And I don't like to listen to much people that see only the difficulty. Yes, we have to be honest, we have to be transparent. Anyway, this is just adjusting our plan. And I'm sure if you're adjusting, you will find some area where you can keep growing. Some area maybe not, but anyway, this is the moment that we will live this moment.
That makes complete sense, Stefano. And thank you for sharing. Just got two more questions. I realize we've only got 5 minutes left of your time, and so we're just going to take two from the audience. And the first one is from Hitachi, and she just asked what your happiest moment has been within Nestlé over your journey.
I've had a very happy moment. I told you already when I've been asked to go back to Italy as a Sanpellegrino CEO. This has been, wow, an incredible moment for me. But the first happiest moment I lived when I was alone in the car, coming back home from a visit in the office in that time was San Bernardo. When I was a simple sales guy, I was 25 years old, 26. And my boss at that time, he told me, Stefano, we want to give you, let's say, a bigger role. And from tomorrow, you will be, let's say, manager of 2 regions in Italy, and you will lead 4 people. And it was first time that I've been asked to lead a team. And my job was changing completely because it was just sales guy to go to customer, and then I moved to be, let's say, a team manager. At that moment, I understood that I could have had a career. Beginning of my, I didn't tell you, but the beginning of my career, I went through a difficult time because when my father fired me, he passed away immediately after, and at that time I needed just to find a job or being financially independent. And I was not thinking that maybe I can have a career. At that time was very difficult, different the career plan. Company were employing you just to get a job, not to tell you that maybe you can grow. So that moment I realized that I can grow, I can get more responsibility. And then luckily this happened. Year after year in my career, had always more responsibility. So that moment is a moment that set my career. Yeah.
Thanks, Stefano. And then the last question, with so much going on, and of course the inevitable level of pressure in senior leadership, interested to understand how you maintain life balance, your health, and just your energy on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I feel lucky because I have to say that living in UK compared to Italy and other countries, the respect between, let's say, private life and work life is very high. So I have time to dedicate to myself. So clearly I'm very busy. Now I'm going to take a flight with Switzerland. So I'm traveling a lot and many meetings, also dinner and so on. But first thing you need to organize yourself to have the right time to make sure that the things that give you the right energy, you will have time to get the energy to refuel yourself, your mind, your body. So I'm lucky because I have a beautiful family, I have 3 children, my wife is Spanish, we have friends in Italy, we have friends in Spain. But my energy comes from family and comes also from the environment. I'm a person that I need also time alone for myself. I love skiing, I love also the sea. But then person that during the week, many weekend, I need to spend some time alone, maybe walking here in London in the park, or during my holidays, if I can go skiing, the mountain, or on my boat. I have a little boat. And so you need to find what make you more energy. And so these are things, very simple things. I don't like to spend money in luxury things. It's just simple things that make me, let's say, happier people. But it's important that you balance, you manage your energy correctly, because it's expected you deliver every day. And yes, it's normal that at some moment you are not at the top of your performance. But in my position, I need, let's say, to be very balanced. I need to manage energy, I need to manage my frustration. And therefore I get lots of support from my family, from my friends. I love simple things. I'm not a person that I like to be exposed to too much, let's say high level things. I like simple people, I like simple places, but nice places. And this is what gives me the best, let's say, contribution to my life. And what is important also always to remember where you come from. I'm a person that I've been lucky because in my career the group gave me opportunity to grow. I have a job that I would never thought to have years ago. But I'm a person that in some years' time I will go back to my old place, and I will have my old friends, my piece of land that I will take care. And so you have to be yourself. It means also in your origin, what you are, what is important. Don't give too much importance to yourself. Don't think that anyway because you have an important job, you're an important person. or you're different from another person that has not yet a job like your one. So these are things that for me matter a lot. And these are things that help me also to put myself in the right place.
Stefano, thank you so much. I'm a CEO of a small business of 50 people, and listening to your journey as the CEO of an organization with over 8,000 was the last data point I could find. Incredibly inspiring to hear the example you've set as a leader of values, of respect, of purpose. And I personally found today incredibly inspiring and have notes written all over here of things to think about in my future journey. Just a really big thank you on behalf of everyone here today. I know how busy you are, and just really appreciate you taking the time to share your incredible journey with us.
Oh, thank you. As I said, for me, it's always a great opportunity. We didn't have interaction with all of you. But anyway, you can also join me on LinkedIn. You can send me a private message or whatever if you want also to have any kind of, let's say, suggestion and to share with me some your doubts or needs for your future. But again, I wish you all the best. This is a moment that young people can make a difference in a company. We need people like you. So don't be worried. There is a space, there is opportunity, there is space for growth, there is a space to do exciting things. And I clearly need to promote it as well as food and beverages. Sometimes it's not seen as a category where you can make a difference. I can guarantee you that food and beverage is a sector that connects you from the farmer to the consumer and looking at all the supply chain, and is an exciting category.
Thank you so much, Stefano. We really appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.